Shalom, Kol Halal Yahweh Bashem Shai Bahashem Brakakwadash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders. Salutations to all my fellow laborers doing this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so now more so than ever. To the scattered elect that are scattered around the four corners of the earth, that be like unto the speckled bird, the Israelite foreigners. And to the Akwath that are listening and learning, to you I say Shalom. This is your brother Malcolm from the branch of the Great Millstone here in Chicago. And I'm going to make this a response to, or maybe even part 2 of a video that their brother GMS, Yahweh's Mouthpiece, put up. And it's just a very short, informative video showing you the hypocrisy and the crimes, the wickedness of Esau, Edom, as they're rioting and looting and doing the Black Lives Matter protests, doing the Antifa protests. And these are more than likely hired agent provocateurs. Well, they are hired agent provocateurs of both those organizations that I mentioned a moment ago. And Jake is out there trying to get equality in a system that he was never meant to be a part of. They, because the women of Israel as well, you were never meant to be a part of this system. You were the servants of the system and nothing more. All right. I mean, there's still laws on the books, that said that you're 3/5 of a man, or a woman for that matter. Okay, if a woman, you're probably regarded even less. But nevertheless, let me just grab a scripture. This is looking for, I believe it's Isaiah, I think. Yeah, because Jake seems to think or want to believe that they can get a fair deal here in this place, and they can. This is why things are going wrong. This is Isaiah 30:1, and it says, "Woe to the rebellious children, saith Yahweh, that take of counsel, but not of me, and that cover with the covering, but not of my spirit, that might add sin unto sin." See, they're trying to go to their enemy to get help, to get relief, and it's never going to happen. It's just like a video I watched, and I definitely have to do a response to either later today or tomorrow from the Political Avenger, and the sister was actually a part of those BLM marches and things of like that nature. So she's got inside information, and she put out a video telling you that that this she was talking to the blacks and browns and how you're being used, and they pulling the wool over your head, because all they're doing is that they're getting you to destroy your own thing, your own stuff, all right, and then they sit back and they're going to collect at the end and put you in a position of need. So how stupid is it that you would go out and destroy, even though it may not be yours, but it is in the community where you live, which you and your people need it, all right? And then later on, in all those businesses you destroyed, a lot of them had insurance. They got paid anyway. They were failing. You went out and destroyed a bunch of things that were going bankrupt, that were going under, and now you allowed them to get paid on the other end, and now you have no store in your neighborhood. Now you got to travel even further. And you also allowed E to come in and take more of your freedoms and set up more of his police states. Why? Because you're not seeking a wise counsel. So, like the brother said on the video that I watched earlier, man, you people have smartphones, but you're really stupid because you don't use your phone to look up information. So there's no more excuses for you. Why? Because the gospel is out there. The men of the Lord are around the four corners of the earth, 24/7 on the unicorn, teaching this word, teaching your heritage. How we're supposed to live our life. We're not supposed to participate in any of their political stuff. We're waiting on the Lord to come and do all that for us. Look what he's doing for us now. Everything that's happening was prophesied. The Lord came through. So what makes you think he's not going to finish the job? So without any further ado, let's get into the lesson, man. All right, and I'm going to read, some scriptures from Esther, the continuation of Esther, which is in the portion of the Apocrypha. in chapter 16, and then just read some precepts to go along with it. But I'm going to start with in chapter 13 at verse 4. All right, actually in verse 3, because the reason this particular chapter in the Bible is just like been in my head for the last couple weeks. I can't stop reading it. Is because this is what's happening. All right. You can look at Ammon. You know, Ammon is representation of these modern day Edomites. You know, I can't point out who he is as an individual, but what he's doing is happening across the board. And the head of Black Lives Matters and Antifa, which they're both set up by George Soros. All right, I want you to think about it, about George Soros, and it's pretty evident now about all the pallets of bricks that were stacked in all the different cities and all the places where they along the routes where they were going to riot. Man, do you know how much money it costs for pallets of bricks? You know, the black mask and the suits and the spray can bottles and some of the pre-made signs. This was an organized, prepared destruction, chaotic event. It was organized, and you know, because Jake isn't that organized. And then you got all these Edomites right there along with you, and right among them are the agent provocateurs. And all it takes is for one, when you already got an angry and incited crowd, for one person to crack a window, break up, you know, throw a Molotov cocktail at a cop car or at any other or a sitting vehicle, and the crowd goes nuts, man. And they're setting you up, and you people just refuse to open your eyes and listen to the men of the Lord who are trying to warn you. But this is Esther, the 13th chapter, and verse 4. No, I'm going to start at 3. Now when I asked my counselors how this might be brought to pass, Ammon, that excelled in wisdom among us and was approved for the constant good will, steadfast fidelity, and had honor of the second place in the kingdom. So he had rose to the second place in the kingdom, man. All right, and remember, you go back to Psalms 83rd chapter, verses 1 through 6. The Bible, the Lord gives you the whole list of who the enemies of the Lord are and who the enemies of the Lord's people. And Ammon is among the Edomites, which is the first on the list. It tells you Edom and Amalek. When we know, and it mentions the other nations too, but that's right there in Psalms 83. It is actually telling you, the Bible tells you who the wicked is by race, and then it tells you who those races are, those people today. This is why Christianity doesn't teach biblical nationality. Like I heard a lion, what's his name, something Laurie, Reverend Laurie, say that when was the last time you seen an Edomite or a Moabite? Why? They don't want to acknowledge who the people are today, because then that makes them responsible. And then, you know, and we all know when you read the Bible, especially the book of Obadiah, the outcome and the end for Edom. Verse 4. Declared unto us in all the nations throughout the world, there was a scatter in certain malicious people that had laws contrary to all the nations. And that's the Hebrew Israelites. And that's it. We're scattered and we're malicious. And that's how the media is portraying you. Because even though there's all these Edomites out here spray painting and destroying property and inciting these riot and taking over these peaceful riots. I mean these peaceful protests and turn them into riots. The face of it is Jacob. You know, you so-called black and browns, mainly you blacks in this case, but you know, but nevertheless, that's who the face of this thing is. All right, you know, there's a reason why Agenda 21, Rex 84, and the King Alpha program are all being implemented, have all been basically, you know, brought together. Because Eve's plan is to eliminate Jacob, and any of you that are left will be slaves again. That's their goal. That's what they want. That's their desire. All right, and let's read it, because it happened back then and it's happening again. All right, like King Solomon said, there's nothing new under the sun. And it says, that malicious. I just started again. Declared unto us that in all nations throughout the world there were scattered a certain malicious people that had laws contrary to all nations and continually despised the commandments of kings, so as the uniting of our kingdoms honorably intended by us cannot go forward. And see, and they look in the way they look at us, they cannot go forward with their plans with us in place, especially the men of the Lord, the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. All right, who are the Hebrew Israelites, according to the Bible, according to the flesh, according to history and relics. Seeing, then we understand that this people alone is continually in opposition unto all men, differing in the strange manner of their laws, which is the laws of the Bibles, which Trump took a picture holding the Bible, but upholds nothing in it. All right, then none of these Edomites do. Bible is used as a weapon, as a cloak. That's why Christianity is exposed, just like the so-called white man is exposed, because of the most heinous crimes, rapes, robberies, slaveries, land grabs, violent land grabs, and taking of property and resources of countries were all done by white male Christians and their white so-called pale wives who supported them, who sat by and said nothing. And for those, the rest of you Edomites who are always saying, well, I wasn't there, I didn't do it, you're still those silent ones who sit by when you see social and racial injustice. You say nothing. You do nothing and you say nothing because you benefit from it. So you're just as guilty. To witness a murder and then say nothing, you're just as guilty as the murderer. Seeing that, then we understand that this people alone is continually in opposition unto all men, differing in strange manner of their laws, and evil affected to our state, working all mischief that our kingdom may not be firmly established. And that's what it is. The Hebrew Israelites, because of the awakening, the great awakening of the Hebrew Israelites, what's happening is the Spirit of the Lord is moving upon the earth, and it's causing a serious disruption in the plans that Esau is planning, man. All right, and so the Spirit of the Lord is forcing them to rush, to speed up what they usually do in increments, in gradualism. And in doing so, you have to understand, and by forcing their hand, to see the right-hand side now is forcing the left-hand side to react. And now they're reacting, and they're reacting too fast, and they're being sloppy, and they're leaving all the evidences of what they're doing. They keep getting caught. Every time they do something to say something, the counter information comes out almost as fast as the lie. Okay? So pretty soon, Esau's just going to be forced to use his sword, man. All right, because this is what he wants to do. All right, verse 6, it says, therefore we have commanded that all they that are signified in writing unto you by Amen, who is ordained over the affairs, is next unto us, shall all with their wives and children be utterly destroyed by the sword of their enemies, without all mercy and pity, the 14th day of the 20th month of Adar, of this present year. So they set up a time and date, and look, and what did President Trump just did? He just put what was it? I forget how many thousand, like 60 or 70,000 heavily armed troops are going to be in 15 states. All right, to smash on this rebellion that's going on, man. And who you think they're gonna take the brunt of their violence, and in the beginning, it's going to be Jacob, man. Jacob's trouble is here, man. It's no longer that we're waiting for. It is here. It is on top of you, and it is happening. All right? It is here. It is on top of you, and it is happening, man. It's just a matter of time. And now they've opened it up, and no social distancing whatsoever. I looked at the footage of, up in Wrigleyville and down on Rushton Division Street and here in Chicago, all through Bucktown, and going toward Humboldt Park, where Esau them pretty much took over Humboldt Park and pushed all the Ephraimites out. Okay, they're getting they're opening up, and they're having a good old time, smoking and joking, eating and drinking, and guess what? The Lord is going to come and spoil their day as well, man. Because Jacob's trouble is not only Jacob's trouble, Esau's going to catch hell, man. Right along with the 2/3, man. All right. because that's what they're planning for you. So let's go over to Esther the 16th chapter now, and I'm going to read verse 16 and 6, and it reads, beguiling with falsehoods and deceit of their lewd disposition, the innocency and the goodness of princes. So they're going to lie, deceive and slander the name of the men of the Lord and the rest of Israel as well, man. All right. Now you may see this, as we have declared, not so much by innocent histories as ye may, if ye search what have been wickedly done of late through the pestilent behavior of them that are worthily placed in authority. So basically he was speaking of Mordecai at the time, and the men who were with him, and the Israelites. Okay, and let me grab a quick scripture, man. This is let's go to Sirach. Because they're slandering and lying, and Ammon just wanted to see the destruction of the Israelites, the same way that his people today want to see that. This is Sirach 10 and 8. Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. All right? There it is. And the fact that they're being exposed just angers them. That their plans are being exposed. No one knew about the Bilderberg group or was talking about the name Rothschild. Now that's just common knowledge for some. All right? I've heard just straight up street people talking about the Rothschilds and the Illuminati and all that kind of mess. Now, a lot of them are kind of bugged out about it, but then some of them know exactly what's going on. But the majority of them are not clinging unto their heritage. They're trying to seek some other way, and there is no other way. There's only one way, man. But you know what? I have to, just remember, even myself, that you can't choose the Lord, man. The Lord chooses you. So I have to remind myself of that. But this is and that's John 15:16, by the way. Anyone wants to go read it and check it. But this is 2nd Ezra 6 and 27-28. All right, because Esau's going to fail. His plans are going to fail, man. All right, because he's going down, because he is the end of the world. We're the beginning of it, so we're at the end. So the new world, the new order is going to be with the Hebrew Israelites. But this is 2nd Ezra 6 and 27, and it says, for evil shall be put out, and deceit shall be quenched. And as faith it shall flourish, corruption shall be overcome, and the truth which have been so long without fruit shall be declared. And the truth is being declared to the four corners of the earth, to the whole earth, to the dismay of Esau, Edom, and the rest of the heathens, and to the 2/3. Call Halal Yahweh Bashan Abashai, Bahashem Rakakwadash, Wa Abba Babal. Shalom.